Dear one, imagine if your last 7 words could reveal the depth of your soul, what would they say? On the cross, Jesus weren't random cries. They were prophetic whispers of mercy for the guilty, paradise for the broken, family redefined, and victory declared. For you, your loved ones, or anyone carrying heavy loads, these words offer freedom and peace. If life's trials feel overwhelming, this message could gently set your spirit free. Join me as we explore their life-changing power together.
Welcome back to the deep dive. You know, usually when we start these conversations, we have a massive stack of articles from all over the place.
Right, tech journals, sociology papers.
Yeah, maybe a history book or two. It's usually a bit of a scattershot approach, just to get the big picture.
We definitely like to cast a wide net.
Exactly. But today is very different. Today, we are laser focused. We aren't looking at 20 different sources. We're looking at one profound narrative that has arguably shaped the last 2,000 years of human history more than any other event. But we're looking at it through a very specific lens.
Yeah, it's a narrative that most people think they know. I mean, if you grew up in the West or really anywhere with a church on the corner, you've heard the story.
Sure.
But the danger with familiar stories is that we stop listening to the details. We just skim.
We assume we know the ending, so we skip the middle.
Precisely. And the depth we are uncovering today is honestly staggering.
Before we even dive in, I really need to set the stage properly. The only reason we can go this deep today is because of a massive dossier of research we received.
Yeah, this is not our usual skimming.
Not at all. This is a comprehensive breakdown provided by Pastor Adrian Swanepoel.
Yes, and we need to give credit where it is due. Pastor Adrian is the author and researcher behind every single insight we are going to discuss today.
Sure, every bit of it.
He did all the heavy lifting on the theology, the original languages, the historical context, all of it.
And for those of you listening who want to go straight to the source, and after this deep dive, I have a feeling you will win. Pastor Adrian runs God's Not Done ministry.
It's fantastic work.
It really is. He's also blowing up on TikTok right now under the handle Adrian Swansea. We've been scrolling through his feed, and the way he breaks down complex stuff into bite-sized pieces is really something.
It's very accessible. He has a gift for teaching.
He does. Also, this is a first for us on the show. In the notes he sent over, Pastor Adrian explicitly asked us to send his love and regards to you, the listener. Yeah, he's not just throwing information out there. Yeah. He actually cares about who is on the other end of the audio.
That's a really lovely touch. It changes the tone, doesn't it? It makes this less of a lecture and more of a genuine connection.
It really does. So, let's get into the topic. We are looking at the 7 last words.
Right.
Now, when I first saw the title of the research packet, I admit I was a little confused. I thought, 7 words? That's a really short sentence.
Yeah, that's a common misconception.
But that's not what we're talking about, is it?
No, not 7 individual words. In the context of biblical scholarship and history, the 7 words referred to the 7 final statements or phrases Jesus Christ spoke while he was hanging on the cross.
Okay, got it. So these are the final sentences.
Correct. And the premise of Pastor Adrian's research, and really this is the hook for today, is that these weren't random.
Right.
You have to imagine the scene. He is in agonizing pain. He isn't just rambling. He isn't delirious. These statements are ordered, intentional, and entirely prophetic.
Why is that so significant, though? I mean, people say all kinds of things when they're dying.
In our modern context, sure, we might pass it off. But in Jewish thought, especially in the first century, a person's final words were viewed as the most critical moment of their life.
Like a final testament.
Exactly. They functioned as a prophetic declaration. Think about the patriarchs.
Like in the Old Testament.
Right. Look at Jacob in the book of Genesis. On his deathbed, he gathers his sons and he prophesies over them.
Oh, yeah.
Or Moses in Deuteronomy. His final song and blessing before he climbs the mountain to die. The last words define the legacy. They reveal the true identity and the mission.
So, if Jesus is who he says he is, these final 7 statements are essentially his closing argument.
They are his manifesto. They are the ultimate revelation of why he came. And to understand them, we really have to stop sanitizing the setting. We have to look at where this is happening.
Golgotha.
The place of the skull.
The research went into some gritty detail here that I think we need to share with you all, even if it's uncomfortable.
We have to.
Because we see the paintings and it looks, well, clean. Little trickle of blood, a sad expression. But the reality of Roman crucifixion was a horror show.
It was designed to be. It was the ultimate deterrent. The Romans didn't just want to kill you, they wanted to unmake you.
Yeah.
The medical reality involves severe contusion, laceration, perforation.
I was reading about the position of the body in the notes. You're hanging by your wrists, right?
Yes, nails driven through the wrists specifically to hit the median nerve. It's like hitting your funny bone, but with a railroad spike.
Oh, grief.
And the pain never stops. But the real killer isn't the blood loss, it's the position. When you hang like that, your diaphragm is essentially paralyzed. You can inhale, but you can't exhale.
So you're suffocating.
Slowly. To breathe out, to speak, you have to push up on the nails in your feet, scraping your raw back against the rough wood just to get one breath.
So every time he speaks, every single one of these 7 words, he is literally paying for it with torture.
Yes.
He has to push himself up on pierced feet just to get the air to say the words.
Which means he isn't wasting breath. If he says it, it matters deeply. The timeline we are looking at is a 6-hour period from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Okay, so let's walk through this timeline. It's 9 a.m., the trial is over, the flogging is over, they've driven the nails in, the cross is dropped into the ground with that sickening thud.
And the soldiers are gambling for his clothes, the crowd is jeering, it's chaotic, it's incredibly loud. And in the middle of this, Jesus pushes up to speak his first word. It's recorded in Luke 23:34.
Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they do.
It is stunning.
It's totally counterintuitive. I mean, be honest, if someone steps on my foot, I snap at them.
Right.
If someone cuts me off in traffic, I might yell. If someone is literally hammering nails into my body, I'm screaming for revenge. I'm cursing them.
That is the human reaction, the absolute instinct for retribution. But Jesus opens with intercession.
Yeah.
And Pastor Adrian's notes point out something deeply theological here. Jesus is functioning as the high priest.
Break that down for us, because usually the priest is the guy standing in the temple killing the animal, right?
Correct. In the sacrificial system, the priest offers the lamb to God on behalf of the people. He is the mediator. But here, Jesus is blurring the lines completely. He is the lamb. He is the sacrifice. But he is also the priest.
He's offering himself.
He's offering himself.
Yeah.
And while the sacrifice is taking place, he is actively doing the priest's job, interceding, pleading the case of the people.
Wow.
It fulfills Isaiah 53:20 perfectly. He bore the sin of many and made intercession for the transgressors.
But there's a specific legal angle here that I found really interesting in the notes. The ignorant part. They do not know what they do.
Yes.
I had to push back on that a little bit. I mean, the Roman soldiers knew they were executing a guy.
Sure.
The religious leaders knew they were framing him. How can he say they don't know?
That is a brilliant question, and it goes directly back to the Torah, specifically Numbers chapter 15. The Jewish law made a massive distinction between 2 types of sin. There was presumptuous sin, sinning with a high hand. That's when you look at God, you know it's wrong, and you do it anyway as a blatant act of rebellion.
Like first-degree murder, premeditated.
Exactly. For that sin, under the law, there was no sacrifice, you were cut off. But then there was sin offered in ignorance or error. If you didn't fully understand the spiritual weight of what you were doing, the law provided a way for atonement.
So by saying they don't know what they do, Jesus isn't just making an excuse for them. He's categorizing their crime.
He is acting as a defense attorney. He is legally categorizing their sin as ignorance so that it falls into the jurisdiction of mercy. He is saying, Father, don't treat this as rebellion. Treat this as ignorance so that they can be forgiven.
That is incredible. He's finding a legal avenue to save the very people killing him.
It's not just a loophole, it's the chute, it's merit. He is creating the legal basis for mercy. If he had stayed silent, judgment would have been the default. By speaking, he opens the door.
And this brings us to that analogy the research used, the backpack. I think this helps ground the concept of forgiveness because sometimes it feels so abstract to us.
Right, because we often think forgiveness is a feeling, like, I don't feel like forgiving.
Exactly. So the analogy is, imagine you're hiking up a mountain and you have this massive rucksack on your back. But it's not full of water and snacks. It's full of rocks.
Heavy, jagged rocks.
And every rock represents a grudge, an offense, something someone did to you. He lied to me. Rock. She cheated on me. Rock. My father wasn't there. Big rock.
And you are trying to navigate life, trying to climb this mountain, carrying all that dead weight. It slows you down. It exhausts you. It completely ruins your balance.
And the research says forgiveness isn't saying the rocks aren't real. It's not saying they aren't heavy.
No. Forgiveness is simply the act of unbuckling the straps and dropping the pack. It's letting it go. Not because the other person deserves it, but because you cannot climb with that weight.
It's liberation.
It is. And notice, Jesus does this first. Before he deals with salvation, before he deals with his family, before he declares victory, he forgives.
Right.
The cross begins with forgiveness. The vertical relationship has to be cleared before the horizontal ones can be fixed.
That sets the bar pretty high for us. Okay, so that's 9 a.m., the first word. Now time is ticking on. We move to the second word. The scene shifts a little bit. We zoom out from Jesus to the men next to him.
Luke 23.43, the two thieves. Or, more likely, insurrectionists, revolutionaries.
Right, because crucifixion was reserved for enemies of the state. These weren't petty shoplifters.
These are highly dangerous men.
Yeah.
And the text tells us that initially, both of them were mocking Jesus. They were joining in with the crowd. If you're the Messiah, get us down.
So what changed? Because one of them flips.
We aren't told explicitly, but we can definitely infer. He's hanging there. He hears Jesus pray, Father, forgive them. He sees that Jesus isn't fighting back. He isn't cursing. And something in the thief's heart breaks. The fear of God hits him.
He rebukes the other guy. He says, "Do you not even fear God?" And then he looks at Jesus and says, "Lord, remember me when you come into your kingdom."
That is a staggering statement of faith. Think about it. Jesus looks like a loser right now. He is naked, bleeding, dying, rejected by his own people. And this thief looks at him and sees a king.
He sees a kingdom where everyone else sees a corpse.
And Jesus turns to him painfully and speaks the second word. Assuredly, I say to you, today you will be with me in paradise.
There are two key words there that the notes highlighted: today and paradise. Let's talk about today.
This is huge because it shatters a lot of religious misconceptions. There is no concept here of a waiting period. There's no purgatory. There's no soul sleep where you wait for thousands of years.
It's immediate.
Today, before the sun goes down.
And paradise, that's a specific word, isn't it? It's not just heaven.
It's the Persian loan word
Yeah.
used for a walled garden. In Jewish thought, Gan Eden, the Garden of Eden. Jesus is telling this dying criminal, I am taking you back to the garden. I am restoring what Adam lost.
And the thing that strikes me, and I think the Billy Graham source made a joke about this, is the thief's resume.
Or lack thereof.
Exactly. I mean, salvation is about being a good person. This guy is cooked. He's a career criminal. He's dying. He can't go get baptized.
Nope.
He can't join the church membership class. He can't tithe. He can't go apologize to the people he robbed. He has literally zero works to offer.
He is the ultimate proof that salvation is by grace through faith alone.
Yeah.
If you needed to do anything to earn it, this man would have been lost. But he went to paradise. Why? Because he trusted the king.
The source called it the shortest stay in paradise for the thief. Just a quick trip in and out. But jokes aside, it's deeply comforting. It means it's never too late.
Never. You can be taking your absolute last breath with a lifetime of mistakes behind you, and the invitation is still open.
Okay, moving on. The third word. This one feels quieter, more intimate. We are in John 19.26 through 27. Jesus looks down from the cross, and amidst the soldiers and the mockers, he spots a small group of people who actually love him.
His mother, Mary, and the disciple John, the writer of the gospel.
And he says to Mary, "Woman, behold your son," and to John, "Behold your mother."
Now, we have to address the woman thing first. In English, calling your mom woman sounds incredibly rude. Hey, woman.
Yeah, don't try that at home.
But in the Greek, Gunai, it's a term of respect. It's more like saying lady or madam. It's formal and dignified. But look at what is happening here. Jesus is dying in agony. And what is he thinking about? His mom's social security.
Essentially, yes.
We believe Joseph, his earthly father, had died by this point. In that culture, a widow without a son to care for her was vulnerable. She could end up completely destitute. Jesus, as the firstborn son, had a strict legal obligation to ensure she was provided for.
So even while he is literally saving the world, he's fulfilling the fifth commandment: honor your father and mother.
He is dotting the I's of the law. But there's a bigger layer here that Pastor Adrian's research points out. He doesn't commit her to his brothers.
Wait, Jesus had brothers?
Half-brothers, yes. James, Jude. But at this point in the story, they didn't believe in him. They thought he was crazy. So Jesus entrusts his mother to John, a believer.
He's redefining family.
He is birthing the church. He is saying that spiritual blood is thicker than biological blood. Woman, behold your son. He is creating a new family unit based entirely on faith, not DNA.
That resonates today, doesn't it? So many people listening might feel alienated from their biological families. Maybe they've been rejected. And here at the cross, Jesus validates the concept of chosen family. The church is supposed to be that support system.
It's the cure for severed relationships. Even his deepest suffering, Jesus is connecting people. He's saying, You don't have to do this alone. Take care of each other.
Okay, so we've had forgiveness, salvation, and family. It's been tough, but beautiful. But now the tone changes completely. We are hitting the halfway mark. It's 12 p.m., high noon.
And the lights go out.
Literally. The scripture says darkness covered the whole land from the 6th hour until the 9th hour, noon to 3 p.m.
And let's be crystal clear, for the skeptics, this wasn't an eclipse. Passover happens during a full moon. An eclipse is astronomically impossible during a full moon.
So what was it?
The sources cite historical records from outside the Bible, Phlegon, Thales. They mention a supernatural darkness that was seen as far south as Egypt and as far north as Turkey. The sun just stopped shining. Nature itself went into mourning.
And in this darkness, the silence must have been deafening. The mockery stops. And this is where the theology gets really heavy. We have to talk about the trade.
The great exchange. This is the very core of the Christian faith.
Pastor Adrian's notes distinguish between two types of offerings here, the sin offering and the whole burnt offering. I need you to explain this to me like I'm 5 years old. What is the difference?
Okay, in the Old Testament, the sin offering was about negative transfer. The sinner lays hands on the animal. The guilt of the sinner moves to the innocent animal. The animal dies. The sin is punished.
Got it. I give the goat my bad stuff.
Right. But all the burnt offering was different. It was about positive acceptance. It was an animal so perfect, so pleasing to God, that when it was burned, the sweet aroma went up to heaven and God's favor came down.
So sin offering deals with the bad. Burnt offering brings the good.
Exactly. Now, on the cross, in the darkness, a double trade happens.
Yeah.
Jesus becomes the sin offering. He takes the backpack. He takes the murder, the lying, the shame of the entire world upon himself. He literally becomes sin, according to 2 Corinthians.
And because God is holy,
God cannot look upon sin. He has to look away. For the first time in eternity, the Father turns his face away from the Son. But at the same exact time, Jesus is the whole burnt offering. He is giving his perfect righteousness to us.
that's the trade. He gets the darkness, we get the light.
And the pain of that separation, the Father looking away, rips the fourth word out of him. Matthew 27:46. Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani. My God, why have you forsaken me?
Notice he doesn't say Father here.
No. He says God. It's formal. It's judicial.
Yeah.
The intimacy is broken. He is standing in the place of the sinner, experiencing the total abandonment that we deserved.
Now, I've heard people say this proves Jesus lost his faith, that he died confused and broken. But the research says that's a massive misreading of the text.
It is a profound misreading. Jesus isn't just venting, he's quoting.
He's quoting Psalm 22.
Psalm 22, verse 1. Now, in Jewish rabbinical tradition, there's a specific practice. If I quote the first line of a song or a psalm, I am invoking the entire piece.
It's like a hyperlink. If I say, Osek, can you see?
You immediately think of the Star-Spangled Banner, the rocket's red glare, the land of the free, the whole context.
So when Jesus screams Psalm 22.1.
He wants us to remember the whole psalm. And if you read Psalm 22, it is terrifyingly accurate. It predicts pierced hands and feet. It predicts gambling for clothes. But, and this is the key, how does Psalm 22 end?
I have it here, verse 24. For he has not despised nor abhorred the affliction of the afflicted, but when he cried to him, he heard. And the last verse talks about future generations serving him.
It ends in victory. It ends in the kingdom being established. So when Jesus cries out, "Why have you forsaken me?" he isn't admitting defeat. He is declaring, I am the fulfillment of this prophecy. I am the suffering servant, and I know that victory is coming at the end of this psalm.
It's a declaration of identity, even in the absolute dark. That gives me chills.
It should. It changes everything about how you view that moment.
Okay, the darkness begins to lift. The 3 hours are up. We're nearing the end now. The fifth word comes in John 19.28. I thirst.
2 words in English, 1 in Greek, dipsu.
This brings us crashing back down to the physical reality. We've been talking about high theology, sin offerings, prophecies. But here we have a man who is severely dehydrated, in shock, and dying.
It reminds us that he wasn't a phantom. He wasn't just a spirit. He was fully flesh and blood. The medical sources Pastor Adrian provided describe hypovolemic shock. His tongue would have been swollen, sticking to the roof of his mouth.
And there's an irony here that I notice in the notes. Jesus spent his entire ministry talking about water.
He is the living water. He told the woman at the well, "Drink from me and you'll never thirst again."
And yet here he is, thirstier than any man has ever been.
He thirsts physically, so we don't have to thirst spiritually. He emptied himself. But there's also a prophetic checkbox here. Psalm 69.21 says, "In my thirst they gave me vinegar to drink."
And that's exactly what happens. They put a sponge of sour wine on hyssop and lift it to his mouth.
And note the difference. Earlier at the start of the crucifixion, they offered him wine mixed with gall, a sedative, a painkiller. He refused it.
He wanted to feel.
He wanted to keep his mind clear. He had work to do. He had to intercede. He had to save the thief. But now the work is done. So he says, I thirst to fulfill the scripture, and he takes the sour wine.
Which sets up the final moment. He takes the drink. He wets his throat. He gathers his strength for one last shout. The sixth word. John 19.30. It is finished.
Tetelestai.
I love this word. The research really unpacked this beautifully. It's not a cry of defeat. He didn't say, I am finished.
No. I am finished means I'm dead. You got me. Tetelestai is a perfect tense verb. It means it has been completed, and the result of that completion stands forever.
The notes mention it was a commercial term.
Yes. Archaeologists have dug up old tax receipts and bills of sale from that era. When a debt was paid off, they would write tetelestai across the bill, paid in full.
So what was finished?
Everything. The debt of sin we owed, paid. The requirements of the law, fulfilled.
Yeah.
The prophecies, completed. The entire system of sacrificing lambs in the temple, over.
The account is fully settled.
The account is closed.
And this is the perfect moment to bring in that slogan that Pastor Adrian Swanepoel uses all the time. I feel like this is the origin story of that phrase. When Jesus shouts, it is finished, it proves that God has the final say and the last move.
Absolutely. Think about it. Satan thought he had won. The Pharisees thought they had won. Pilate thought he had solved a political problem. But God had the final say. What looked like a devastating defeat was actually the greatest victory in the history of the universe.
And that's really the heart of God's not done ministry, isn't it? That idea that even when things look dead, even when it looks finished in a bad way, God is still moving.
God always has the last move. If he can turn a crucifixion into a coronation, he can turn your situation around.
So the debt is paid. The victory is won. We have one word left. The seventh word, Luke 23.46. Father, into your hands I commit my spirit.
Notice the shift. Father,
He's back.
the my God separation is over. The sin offering is accepted. Fellowship is fully restored. And this is an act of supreme will.
The sources point out something really strange about the way he died. Usually, crucifixion victims drift into a coma. They suffocate quietly. But Jesus cries out with a loud voice.
He didn't just die. He dismissed his spirit. He said in John 10, "No one takes my life from me, but I lay it down of myself." He remained in complete control until the very last millisecond.
And the words themselves, into your hands I commit my spirit. That's from Psalm 31.
It is. But here's the detail that completely broke me when I read the research. In first century Judaism, this verse, Psalm 31.5, was the bedtime prayer taught to children.
Wait, really? Like, now I lay me down to sleep.
Exactly. Every Jewish mother taught her child to say, "Into your hands I commit my spirit," before they close their eyes at night.
That is heartbreakingly beautiful. In the middle of all this violence, he goes back to a child's prayer.
It's ultimate trust. He is falling asleep in his father's arms, knowing, absolutely knowing, that he will wake up on Sunday morning.
Wow. So we have this arc. Forgiveness, salvation, family, abandonment, suffering, victory, surrender. It covers the whole human experience.
It does. It's a complete map of redemption.
One of the sources, I think it was the Billy Graham material, talked about the dimensions of the cross. I thought that was a great visual to wrap our heads around this.
Yes, based on Ephesians 3, the breadth, length, height, and depth.
Walk us through those.
The breadth is that God's love extends to the whole world. The cross's arms are open to everyone. Asia, Africa, Europe, the Americas.
And the length?
It stretches from eternity past to eternity future. It's not a temporary fix, it's permanent.
The height?
It reaches all the way to the throne of God. It bridges the gap between earth and heaven.
And the depth.
This is the one that really matters to me. It reaches to the absolute bottom.
No matter how deep you are in the hole.
You could be a murderer, a thief, an addict. The cross reaches down deeper than your sin goes, just like it reached the thief hanging right next to him.
And that brings us back to the image of the three crosses. It's such a powerful picture. You have the Savior in the center, and you have two criminals on the sides.
And in a way, that's a picture of all humanity. Jesus is always in the center. He is the dividing line of history. And every single one of us is one of those two thieves. We are all guilty. We all have a backpack full of rocks.
The question is just, which thief are you? Are you the one who mocks? Who says, I don't need this, I'm fine, get me down? Or are you the one who looks at him and says, Lord, remember me?
That's the only choice that matters. The cross forces a decision. You simply can't be neutral about it.
It's heavy, but it's incredibly hopeful. Because if it is finished, then we don't have to finish it. We don't have to earn it. We just have to accept it.
We don't add to the work. We rest in the work.
Well, we have covered a massive amount of ground today. From the legal courts of heaven to the dusty hill of Golgotha. I feel like I need to just sit with this for a while.
It definitely changes how you read the Gospels. You realize there isn't a single wasted syllable.
Absolutely. And listen, I want to say a massive, massive thank you again to Pastor Adrian Swan-Paul for the incredible research that guided this deep dive. This wasn't just data. This was, well, it felt like holy ground.
It did. And if this resonated with you, please go check out God's Not Done ministry. And seriously, look up Adrian Swansea on TikTok. He is putting this kind of content out there every day, and it is absolutely worth your time to support what he's doing.
And hey, remember the slogan we talked about? I don't know what you are facing this week. Maybe you have a backpack you need to drop. Maybe you feel like you're in the darkness of the noon hour. But keep this in the front of your mind. God has the final say and the last move.
Amen. It's not over until he says it's over.
Now, we wanted to do something a little special to close out. Usually we just say goodbye. But given the nature of this topic and the request from Pastor Adrian, we want to send you off with a blessing.
This is beautiful.
This is Pastor Adrian's favorite blessing, taken directly from the scriptures, Numbers chapter 6, verses 24 through 26 in the New King James Version. I'm going to speak this over you wherever you are, driving, at the gym, cooking dinner. Just receive this. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. Thanks for listening. We'll see you on the next deep dive.
Goodbye, everyone.